Hey.
Hello, and welcome to Deadflicks.
Welcome to Deadflicks.
I'm Pippa.
I'm Myk.
And we're talking about our horror origins, or things that inspired us horror-wise, that started us off on our journey to sort of all this enjoyment and craziness and dark
where you kind of
evil.
rolled into. So I suppose the first question off is like, where did you start? Like, what was your kind of drug of choice? Where did you roll in with the shit?
Books. It's definitely
Books.
It was books for me, because I didn't get a TV in my bedroom. Like, my parents weren't into horror, though my dad gave me Cabal.
See, that's the thing, is kind of, you say your folks went into horror, and your folks have said to me that they're not into horror so much.
But I think they don't realize how much of a broad spectrum horror covers.
Yeah.
Like, my mum loves crime dramas. My dad likes his sci-fi stuff, and it is, it's like they allowed me to read the kind of books that I wanted to read.
Yeah.
And then I was like 7 or 8, and my dad handed me Cabal by Clive Barker.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And that was he'd always had these sci-fi books on a bookshelf at home. And I'd always look at these designs and these covers, and it was like 3-breasted women, or like, a woman with a man in a chain and tigers and like,
and it's always those
rainbow colours.
I can never get it right. It's like Boris Vier.
Boris Vier.
Is it Vier or Velio?
Vaheo? I don't know, but I bought one of his art books from a charity shop.
That's a real good find.
I wish I bought the other ones at the time, but I didn't have the money. There were like 3 of them, and the other 2 have gone. Or they might still be there.
Steep. No, they were gone.
They were $7.99.
Those things
wasn't too bad, even from a charity shop.
Honestly, the truth is kind of they would have been a cheap buy. They were a cheap buy for what they were.
Yeah.
But the reality is, everything's a cheap buy for what it is when you're standing there, and if you say yes to everything.
True.
So you just go with it. So I came in at a different point to you. So you were kind of into Shivers, which I think you're going to talk about in a second.
Shivers.
But I'm not entirely quite sure where I stepped onto the boat.
Okay.
Because mine's a lot less kind of with it. So I know that kind of Goosebumps was the start of the upward kind of journey into a conscious enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
Like, that was the point at which, because I was a scared child. I was a really scared child.
No, I totally.
Petrified.
I think we'll probably find that a lot of people that are really into horror now were some of the people that were more scared of anything as children.
Yeah.
And I think it's that journey into pushing yourself to reading horror, to viewing horror, almost to inoculate yourself from the fear, become something you love.
That's crazy, eh? If you what are you guys scared of? I mean, like, where did you guys start on this? Like, hit us up on this.
If you could let us know in the comments.
You can let us in the comments or tweet at us at Deadflicks.
Yes.
That's DEADFLICKS. Not X. Sorry. Hit us up. Let us know what you were kind of.
Yeah, what your starting point was, and what scared you as well.
Were you a sickly child? And not specifically sickly, but I mean fearful.
I remember the first thing. I was terribly fearful. Because we were in the RAF, we moved a lot, so it was always different bedrooms as a child. As far as I can remember, I mean, I moved like 3 or 4 times, but I had this wooden bed that my dad had built because we both had beds together. My dad had built them, and they were awesome. And I used to take a running jump to get on the bed so my feet wouldn't be underneath the bed in case the thing under my bed grabbed me.
That's insane.
So I would always take a running jump, and I'd always have to have the door open to get light into my room. And I remember the first I was one of those kids where I didn't have nightmares. I would not go to sleep. If something scared me, I would stay awake with my lights on, and I would sit there, because if I turned the lights off, the thing could get me. And the thing that scared me the most was I was 7 years old, and I watched an episode of the British TV show The Avengers, not to be confused with the movie.
Yeah, this was the one with the guy with the umbrella and
and
the pork pie hat.
Yes.
And the lady in a skin tight
suit.
What
her name was.
It wasn't Liz Hurley, but
no,
it was the
other
woman who looked like Liz Hurley. I keep confusing her with the Jean Grey.
No, much older. But I've forgotten her name. But anyway, they were in the sewers, and there was a giant rat killing people. And it was this giant rat. I kept thinking this giant rat was going to come in my window and grab me, because that's what happened in the show.
Yeah.
But there's also this scene which I can still completely picture it, and I've not seen this. This is at least 23 years, and it's in a sewer, and this person's in a corner cowering, and then he's covered in liquid. And I don't know if it's saliva or but I just remember that being so weird, and I could never understand what the liquid was, and it was just weird, and it scared the shit out of me. And I used to be sick. Like I would be physically sick because I was so scared of going to bed, because if I went to bed, things get me. And I've always had problems with anxiety, so. But yeah, I would be physically sick while trying to go to bed because I was so scared of these things getting me.
That's great.
So of course I started reading horror.
Yeah, that's the natural next thing. As you're talking, kind of my little pieces are popping out, because you don't consciously think of these things until you unpack them with kind of context. It's like when you're telling jokes, it's hard. You can't tell a joke. Nobody knows any jokes. You say, "Tell me a joke." They say, "No, I got nothing." And then somebody tells one.
Yeah.
And then then somebody responds to it with a joke. It's almost like the similar thoughts kind of bring the mental
exactly.
association.
It's like a click, and you.
Yeah.
I know. I just have like a range of 3 jokes, which I will never ever tell on here.
Oh God.
No, I'm not going to. But I have like 3 jokes, and it's like I just always remember these 3 jokes, and they're my starting point.
Yeah.
But they are also how people judge the kind of person that I am, and I am sorry.
That tends to go south.
It tends to go south. Even the jokes go south.
So as you were talking about that, I was just basically unpacking the various things that happened to me. So I'm trying to kind of backpedal to whether it was Gremlins.
Okay.
Because there was also It, which came out, the original kind of It TV show.
Yeah, because you're a couple of years older than me, so you have seen things different to what and growing up in a different country.
Yeah, so I've had a different kind of exposure. So I did a little boomeranging when I was younger. So we were over here for about 3 years, which was enough to kind of give me an exposure to some stuff, but I was gone before a lot of the others, the relevant shit in the world, like cheeky girls.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Like
how is that relevant?
I don't fucking know, but apparently it was relevant, and people were astounded that you've never heard of the cheeky girls. Yeah, don't Google that shit. You're not doing yourself any favors if you don't know anything about it.
Okay.
So what happened was it was a combination between Gremlins, It, and Jurassic Park. I just realized this as like when you were saying the Sleepless Nights story. So I think Jurassic Park came out after It. Right. Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, Jurassic Park was like 1992.
Okay.
I'm in fact, I'm sure it was 92. 92 on that? No, it's 93. Because I always say 92 and I know it's not. It's 93. I'm normally really good with film dates, so I'm going to be totally wrong here.
Pip remembers all this stuff.
I just remember I was at primary school and one of the boys in my primary school had been to see it. And they had it on video. I was not allowed to watch scary movies as a child. I was not allowed. My parents were incredibly protective. I was not allowed access to any scary stuff, really. My parents were really apprehensive about ever letting me watch Buffy. They wouldn't let me watch Buffy when it first came on TV in 1995. I wasn't allowed. When I got to 13, 14, they finally let me watch it, and it was 15 rated, and I could have it on video, and I loved it. Absolutely loved Buffy. It was like my real girl power kind of... Oh, is he? Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park was 93.
93!
Okay, so Jurassic Park was 93.
Yes, so I would have been 5.
And It was...
1980...
1990.
1990, okay.
1990. Yeah, everybody thinks it's kind of like a 1980s.
I thought it was end of the 80s. I thought it was like 89.
It was close enough to be that side. So the reason this is relevant is basically because in my memory, everything sort of happens in parallel.
Okay.
So I remember going to my cousin's house.
Okay.
And then watching Gremlins.
Right.
And for me, as much the same as for you, I was fairly protected in that we grew up on Disney movies.
Yeah, no.
So there was nothing else in the household. It was basically kind of cartoons and Disney movies. I was into weird stuff. I just didn't know I was into it until I discovered the weird stuff I was into. So this was like pre Goosebumps for me.
Okay.
I remember watching Gremlins.
Right.
And going to go and sleep at my grandmother's house and lying on the floor in the lounge in the dark. And one of those endless like nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Same as you said, where you can't sleep and you just lie there.
You just lie there and you're like, please let it be dawn, please let it be dawn, please let it be dawn, because then nothing can get you in the daylight. You
and
know?
I had the image of the gremlins, I always call him Spike, but his name's Stripe.
Stripe.
Right at the end, and that image of
in the water.
of his back pimpling.
Oh yeah.
That fucking the concept of these things that
Well,
could just multiply.
I was just thinking we watched Gremlins at Christmas.
Yeah, we did. We watched
Christmas movie.
Yes, we did. So, but the other thing that kind of happened almost simultaneously with this thing, because I think we were either visiting or whatever, and my cousins are bastards, absolute bastards. So I heard about it
right
from one of my cousins, and he explained this whole thing to me, and I do not need any prompting. Mentally, you just give me a little seed, and my brain will just fuck off running with that thing.
Yeah.
And I'll wallpaper the inside of my brain with the most terrible shit I can think of.
Yeah, because you don't react to things a lot more than I do. Like I don't react to things on the same kind of level that you do. Like I'm a lot more desensitized, I guess.
Yeah, I think you've got a level of detachment that I don't.
Yeah, I am very detached, but again, day job also requires me to be very detached.
You see a lot of stuff, but at the same time, kind of, I could be more detached, and I think I was less detached when I was younger because I had less points of reference for things.
Okay.
So when you've been injured in a certain way, until you've been injured like that, you
don't fear it.
You don't fear it. No. You don't look at it on a TV show or anything and go, I've hit tarmac and rolled and taken skin off my back and my knees and my sides. So every time that I see somebody jump out of a car on a moving vehicle and just get up and walk that shit off and they're in a pair of jeans, they'd be shredded. I swear to God, like if they get up and they're wearing anything more than a mankini, those filmmakers are fucking lying to you. It is. So I think I've got a lot more of those kind of touch points than you do. Yeah, no,
I don't have as many like real life occurrences of scary shit. You have the monkey story.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. So, just to kind of run this one through really, really quickly. When people say don't feed the monkeys and tourists feed the monkeys, you fuckers are part of the problem. And don't feed the fucking monkeys. And I'm not talking like at the zoo or whatever it is. If you go to South Africa or a place where shit is what it is, don't feed the fucking monkeys. They're these little kind of grey vervet monkeys. So they got blue nuts and pink backsides, and they're the most vicious little fuckers you've ever seen. They're not kind of cuddly monkeys. They're not delightful. They don't bring joy to the lives of millions. They're evil, fanged fuckers is what they are. So these little bastards. Anyway, and you can hear them kind of coming for miles back home. So if there's a troop of monkeys basically making their way through the suburbs, they go through the trees, they pass through the gardens, and everybody's got dogs, so you can just hear this chorus, and it just gets louder as they're kind of approaching you. Yeah. Or it kind of fades as they're getting further away. Yeah. I found myself in this, I don't know quite what the word is. We had this really, really long street, and on either side it was almost like a half pipe. Yeah. Except it was more like a full pipe. So there were walls down either side of this road. So I was basically kind of bottlenecked into this road. And as I was kind of walking down it towards the house to basically go home, this troop of monkeys descends behind me on all sides. So I'm not so much surrounded.
And you were little, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. That's the thing. I must have been about 16 at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I have never been so scared in my life because they just eyeballed me and they said, you. And so I'm walking down this kind of down this road, and they're coming up behind me like in a wave. Yeah. And just you get that slow kind of Terminator walk with an entire troop of these vicious fuckers coming after you, and my heart's pounding, and they are savage. I'm not kidding. Like what happens often is kind of they will come in, they'll slip through the burglary guards, get into a house, they'll help themselves to food, they'll destroy the whole place, and they'll attack. If they get caught in the house and you've got like a small child or even a person, they'll fucking go for you. And they'll just, it's the chimp face lady, the whole thing. They are not, they're wild animals, They might be cute and kind of wanking in public and all the other shit that monkeys do, but they're vicious. And it's utterly terrifying.
Yeah. See, so there we go. So you've at least got, you definitely have more reference for horror things than I have.
Yeah, there's stuff that you don't think about. And
no,
I think that's really it.
Well, because coming from Britain.
I don't mean the monkey story specifically.
Oh, I was just going to say, I might get attacked by a vicious badger or a scary hedgehog, but, the occasional fox screaming in the darkness. But,
God, that noise.
Anyway, I was going to talk about books.
Sorry.
So yeah. I happen to have props right here, which you can't see in the camera.
You have props.
Oh.
So what do you got there, dear?
So actually, even though you're going to talk about this one as well, as I say.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Let's do a show and tell. And now that we've spoiled that.
Goosebumps.
So show me yours. Right. So Pip has got her.
I do. I have. This is actually. Oh look!
So
this is how old this. This is a Shivers book by M.D. Spencer. This is called The Spider Kingdom. It's book number 13.
It's got a bright orange cover.
Orange cover with a spider on it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I was excited is I've just noticed that. It's my name.
It's got your name on the front.
Got my name on the front where I scribbled it in pen when I got this.
Okay.
We were going on a caravan holiday. I think by that point I might have read a Goosebump book, or I'd seen them at school, or somebody else had them. And these weren't sold in many shops because they're from Canada, I think. No, they're from California. And they weren't. It wasn't a big thing. Like not many people ever saw these, and they were being sold in Wilkinson's kind of like everyday household goods type shop, and they had these, and I was never able to get the full set. I've got the full set now because I bought them as an adult, but these are the original ones I had as a kid, and this story is actually really relevant to today. It's all about this guy who has his friend or his brother look after his pet spiders. He collects tarantulas. He asks somebody to look after them.
Can I see the cover?
Yeah.
Thanks.
He asks somebody to look after them while he goes away, and they all die. And then they come back to get him because he let them die. So the spiders rebel against him, and it's I just remember sitting in a caravan reading those, and I had that one and the Curse of the Jungle. It's a bright green one as well. I just remember stacking those on my little bookshelf that I had in the little caravan, sharing a room with my sister.
That's crazy.
And just being so thrilled. And as a child, I devoured books. Mum and Dad used to get really angry at me because I would read too quickly. And I am a very much a speed reader. I read very, very, very quickly. But yeah, it's honestly, I actually wrote to MD Spencer last year on Facebook and thanked him.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I thanked him for inspiring me. And being such a huge part of my childhood, and he responded, and it was super nice. It was lovely. I was so thrilled. He's a radio DJ in America.
You kidding?
No,
seriously.
Yeah. Just radio show.
That's really cool.
It is really cool. But he's these books were brilliant, and it was such a huge part of my childhood. Anyway, over to you.
No, I was gonna just talk about this cover on this thing.
Oh yeah.
It's because you got this giant. It's kind of it's got this configuration like it's the old, the US Goosebumps editions.
Yes.
So it's got kind of like the split, bars at the top, and this kind of picture with a dude on a giant spider web and what looks like a massive tarantula.
Yeah. It's because the book is violently luminous
was this
orange.
The first one you got?
This was the first one I got, and I think I picked it up because it was number 13.
Of course. Which is the only right way to go.
And I got book number 5, which is called The Curse of the Jungle or Jungle Curse or something. And that's violently green.
Oh, that's the one with the alligator on the front.
No, that's purple. And that's blue. And that's next to the bedside table because I'm still reading that one. I know that one's still on the bookshelf in the lounge. I'm intending to get all of these reread this year, which I wanted to do last year and I didn't get around to.
Yeah, you made some serious kind of movement with it.
Yeah, but it's just if anyone's looking to get books for their children and they specifically want
like a kind of
horror stuff, they want to get their kids into horror, or their kids are interested in horror and they want a safe space for them to explore it.
That seems like
I was gonna say, and I want something that's different to Goosebumps. Shivers are really good. There's only 36 books. You can get them on eBay. You can get them on Amazon. I think it's mostly eBay. I think I got mine off eBay. You can't buy them in shops anymore, and you can't buy them like as a book thing. They're out of print.
That sucks.
But I managed to get the last two.
You should probably mail them and tell them to get them on I know, but the publishing company will own them.
Publishing company will own them, but it depends. It could have been his publishing company. It's called Paradise Press.
Paradise Press.
But it's they were great, really great
mail
books.
them and tell them to put them back into
print. People would read these. They're really fun.
Do you enjoy being frightened? That's actually really cool.
Yeah, they got really good intros. They were a lot of fun.
My introduction on the kind of like, it's not specifically the horror front though. It was, like I said with the kind of previous movies and whatever it was, like Jurassic Park was the one that I think affected me the most. And it wasn't even the kind of the shit you'd imagine that would be scary. So I went to go and watch it in the cinema when I was a kid. When it came out, I was a big dinosaur junkie. I'm sorry, I'm changing this.
No, same here. Like we had this in common. This was one of those things where we both got the same magazine, didn't we?
Fucking dinosaurs. It was the dinosaur magazine.
It was a dinosaur magazine.
So this was a UK.
This was a UK thing. I think it was
And they had 3D glasses.
3D glasses.
With
they
a
had
T-Rex on it.
With the T-Rex on the glasses, and they had a page in the magazine
in every issue.
And you could build. You built a glow-in-the-dark T-Rex skeleton.
Yeah.
And you got the outer skin in 2 parts.
Yes.
Which you could paint.
Oh.
And I never did that. I got the parts and they sat in the garage, but I had the T-Rex. In fact, my dad probably still has the. Oh, my contact lens is bothering me now. My dad probably still has the T-Rex skeleton, glow-in-the-dark skeleton in the garage because he keeps things. Oh, I loved that thing so much.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Right.
So, when that eventually kind of came by, like I had Jurassic Park and had to leave the cinema because I was totally okay with everything. Like the Rex was amazing. You know, it thrilled me and all that stuff because dinosaurs are amazing. Like everybody,
dinosaurs are the best.
It's your first kind of exposure to monsters.
Yeah. And
what's best about them is that they existed. Unless you're an idiot. But they don't exist now. So you've got this kind of real unreality.
Yes, because
they exist in this kind of safe space, literally a safe space where you can fantasize and think
and explore,
and they eat things and they tear things heads off.
But one isn't going to suddenly turn up on your street, which is reassuring.
Which is really kind of it's a kid's dream. It's wonderful like that. So I got the whole way through it, and at the point where Nedry gets trapped in the mud
with the
spitter,
and
you see this little cute thing, and it's like a puppy, and I just went, oh, I love dinosaurs. And then this thing just kind of transformed into this spitting demonic beast from the pits of hell. Sprayed feces all over his face and poisoned him to death. No, it wasn't feces. I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah, it's poison goo.
Yeah, it was poison
goo. It does
goo.
what I do when I yawn.
Yes, exactly, like that.
Gleek. That's what it's got a name.
I know.
It's impressive. I can shoot up to 2 meters.
I've seen at least 40 feet. But so that thing just turned the corner on that and utterly devastated me. I did not sleep for months. I could not go to bed. I'd lie in bed and just stare at the ceiling. And I think that was the first, big kind of trauma.
Yeah.
And I mean, kind of Gremlins stuck around in my brain for a little while, but that was just utterly it. And then kind of the years rolled on and things kind of developed. But a couple of years later, when I discovered Goosebumps, in that way that you do, and this one that I'm holding in my hand is not the first one that I
Not the first one you read. Okay.
Which I'm just realizing right now was a complete and utter fuck up in regard to the preparation for this episode.
That's right. It's the first one that I read of the Goosebumps books.
I'm holding in my hands.
Is that one mine or is it your copy?
I don't know.
Mine will have my name in the front of it.
Well, we'll find it. No, it's mine.
It's yours. We both, weirdly enough, we both came to the relationship with Goosebumps books in our possession, and weirdly enough, of the minimal ones that Myk had, and I had a few more, we had the same books. We both had this one. We both had Bad Hair Day. And I think it was another one we had.
Yeah, we had
I believe we're now sitting in a hailstorm.
There goes the rain. So it was this one and Bad Hair Day and possibly the one with the sponge.
Yes. So the Welcome to Dead House book number 1.
Welcome to Dead House is the one that I'm holding.
And it's a blue book with and the versions that we've got are with the bubble texture to them.
Yeah, these are the UK editions. So
is it the UK edition that got the bubbled?
Yeah, these are the UK editions.
Books.
I believe I was doing some research on something else the other day, and Tim Jacobus.
Okay.
I hear it every different way. So Quibus is enough for comments from back home. But I think he's an American chap.
Okay.
I listened to him on an interview the other day on a podcast, which was really, really good. Anyway, he did the art on 61 out of the 62 original Goosebumps books.
Okay, that's very cool.
I think the only one he didn't do the art on was number 2, which was Stay Out of the Basement.
Yes.
And that was on the American versions. So everyone's kind of familiar with the American versions. This one that we're looking at here is
what we had over here.
Is the UK version.
I love these
incidentally
covers.
The ones that I had in South Africa as well.
Very cool.
So it's kind of this bubbly, goosey.
Yeah, it's all textured. It's like it's got like actual, like, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It's all textured.
Yeah.
You can feel the bubbles. It's all very like Goosebumps stands out. It's embossed. It feels amazing. But as a child, you're like, oh my god, it's a book that I can touch.
It was the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at it and thinking to myself, this is kind of this frog spawn vibe.
Yeah. Oh, no,
it
totally
really
is.
Close. So it's got a skull in the middle and there's
gravestones.
And there's gravestones. It says, "Welcome to Dead House."
I remembered this story.
Welcome to Dark Falls. And this was like, so the first one I read was It Came From Beneath the Sink, which is about an evil sponge. And the cover on that is amazing as well. It's got in the UK version anyway, it's got this weird, creepy sponge monster thing surrounded by goop.
Yes.
Same as this one, in the same kind of style, the UK style. And then there's kind of like cleaning fluid and things around it.
So the colours got more lurid as it went along, because like the first couple are quite nice pastel-y.
They were still trying to work it out. I think they commissioned the first 3 and then kind of decided they were going to go ahead and do some crazy stuff with it.
Okay.
But this, the first one I read was number 35.
Right.
And this one, Welcome to Dead House, was the one that kind of got me the most.
Right.
And there's this kind of crazy twist in it.
I think it's this book, and it's number 24 of the Shivers books that I remember most vividly, because and that one's called Devil's Marsh, was because as a child, I sat on my bedroom floor with a pile of these books around me and my dad's Walkman, listening to The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie on tape.
Jeez.
And so anytime I hear any of the songs from that album, it takes me straight back to this. It's like Lady Stardust just makes me think of this Goosebumps book. And it's this weird association thing, but in like a really nice way. Yeah. Just memories.
I don't have the music attachment to it, but
it's just something that I was always into music. So
I remember the smell of the pages, but it wasn't just the pages themselves. It was in this one. It's got the thing as well. So in the center of this, it's got this Goosebumps Collectors Club coupon.
I know. We considered using it,
and these were just some of my most favorite things in the world. And like, I wanted that goddamn eyeball and a collection, and I used to get these.
So I never
eventually
did.
signed up for it, and and I had an entire collection of. They had a custom magazine that they did.
So I never had any of that. I never had the money to do it. We didn't have the money, so
God. No, I think it was basically guilt for leaving us. So, Daddy Dearest basically eventually did this kind of shit. It was a weird time. But I had the entire collection of these things, and on the back they had every issue that they put out, there was a gravestone. So there was an actual kind of thing with a quote from a gravestone that existed.
That's really cool.
Which was really quite cool. It's kind of, this is really heavy.
Yes. And then we added R.L. Stein on Facebook, and he accepted our requests, and it was super exciting.
I tell you what, I was blown away.
Yeah, by that. I was gonna bring up our next item.
Our next item.
Is.
Should it be your item?
Nope.
Or my item?
You're going to go with your item.
Okay.
Nah.
Well, so this is Terminator 2.
Yes.
Which, now I'm looking back on the kind of previous discussion we've been having.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that I'm a lot less aware of kind of where my history comes in with this stuff.
Okay.
So, Goosebumps was the first kind of conscious moment.
Yeah.
I've been watching kind of weird shit my whole life anyway, but I haven't consciously realized as even until the last couple of years. Like, I have only consciously identified as a horror fan recently in the last 3-4 years.
I suppose I have always been like, my mum wanted me to be popular, which is sweet, and it was not going to happen because, you know, at a young age I was already weird because I like books and I didn't collect dolls and I didn't have teddies on the end of my bed, and I like to read and I loved science, and I'm a huge science nerd. I'm a total science nerd, and Nikola Tesla is my hero, other than David Bowie because he's awesome. And it was just, so I just was always weird and was always into horror and was always strange, and it's just stuck. And I think it was one day my mum just realised, she looked at me, she went, "You're a nerd." I was like, yes, it's not going to change. This is what you get. I'm For you, it's been a journey.
It's been a little kind
realization journey.
Yeah, I've always been doing it, I guess. So the DVD Pip's put on the table here is Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, yeah.
Which I have, until this very moment, have basically pitched as the first kind of adult movie
that you saw.
That I saw.
But it might be Gremlins.
I mean, it's probably earlier than that, so it's
Gremlins was an 18, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is a 15.
No, Gremlins was not an 18.
Was it not?
Yeah, it's I don't want to say it's a misnomer. So Gremlins was a PG-13, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it's a Spielberg movie.
This is the fuckery of this.
Okay.
So it was, I think the PG-13 rating was created specifically for Gremlins.
Really?
Yeah. Spielberg pushed that one through. Okay. So the problem was that it was too scary to be released under the current rating system.
PG, yeah.
Because Gremlins. Right. And he basically invested all this time and this effort in putting this thing in and the marketing and all the other stuff. So he said, you know what? Fuck you all. We're going to make
our own rating.
Yeah, we're going to make our own rating in order to release this thing so that more people can kind of see it. Because if it was kind of put in at the rating that it should have gone in at,
there'd be a much bigger, yeah, there
would have been a much, people would have been less likely to see it. I think people still would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It would have had less of the widespread.
Yeah, parents wouldn't have taken their children. In the 80s, parents seemed to be a little bit more protective of their children.
No, but I don't think that's.
I can imagine like there were less parents trying to sneak their children into cinemas to see films that they were underage.
Because there's so much widespread shit available to everybody, we are desensitized to it at a lower level. So the kind of stuff. No. I mean, like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it's like parents now trying to take their children into the cinema to see the new It movies, and like children coming out of the cinema screaming, and it's like, why have you taken your children to see these movies?
I think because people are so exposed to stuff all the time that they don't consider it to be an issue.
Yeah, children get scared.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are kids at kind of 12 today that are double the adult that I was at 12. You know, I was still very much in short pants at 12 and 11 and 13. You know, I kind of bad haircut and nuts into Spider-Man and
Spider-Man's awesome.
But I was a child.
I was into Harry Potter.
And you see kids at 13 now, and kind of.
Oh no! I thought I had magical powers. I thought that I could control the weather.
I think that goes for all of us.
Isn't that I was into, I don't know, I thought I could control the weather with my thoughts. When I was angry, it would rain.
Mm-hmm. You look at the clouds.
You stare at the clouds. Yes, you're like, it won't rain. It won't. It's rained. Maybe I just wasn't strong enough this time.
Yeah.
And I believed in magical powers, and I wanted to be in Harry Potter, and I wanted to do all those things, and that was me at 13. Was I was a big Harry Potter nut.
It's crazy, I would say.
So Terminator 2. I've only seen Terminator 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, very recently.
I've never seen them before because
we watched them.
I didn't
over a couple of nights
back
to back. So we saw Terminator 1.
Yep.
And Terminator 2.
Over 3 days.
Yeah, this is going to become the running joke, I think, here.
Myk goes to sleep.
I get to the end of the day and I'm sitting there and I'm comfy and I just disappear.
You do. Or watching a movie and I look over and he's fast asleep, or he's like leaning on my arm and he's just gone. And I'm like, well, okay. I'll tell him that he's asleep. And you're like, yes, I am. It's like, do I leave the movie playing? No. Right, bed.
So, initial impressions on this thing for you. Again, like your commentary.
I really enjoyed it. It was a fun story. The visual effect different because I think it's 7-year difference between 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's
the visual effects
different creature.
Yeah, and the effects are great. The story's really fun. I liked where it went. I loved the effects. I loved how the bad robot guy. What's his name?
Oh God, is it Patrick?
Oh no, I meant the name of the robot.
Oh, T-1000.
T-1000. The guy's like walking around in like a black jumper with metal glue things stuck to it, and it's just like they keep putting them in his jumper every now and then.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, whenever he gets shot, he gets like these big holes, but it's just like he's like in a t-shirt that they've just stuck these prosthetic metal hole things onto.
Totally
I keep going out the camera.
Yeah,
get squished into the table.
It's a weird one.
That's okay.
So, yeah, I saw this at high school. I was about 13 years old. My English teacher at the time, he was insane for Terminator 2. So I think during my first year at this school, we must have watched this film at least 3-4 times during English class. So he'd basically teach us.
Yeah.
And he'd say, it's time for Terminator. And we carried on watching this thing on a videotape.
Brilliant.
It was great. And the first time I saw, it was the scene with the milk. So the T-1000.
Yeah.
Oh
God, yeah.
So he's on the phone to Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
Who's acting in this has not aged well.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the spirit is still there. It's a
yeah. Talking to him, pretending to be his
stepmother.
Yeah.
So they basically do that old catch out the lie gambit.
Yeah.
So the Governator basically says to the T-1000, how's Wolfie? He seems to be barking.
Yeah.
And gives the dog a different name, and the T-1000 doesn't have a name. So, but out of shot, the stepdad is being annoying. So she basically changes hands with the phone, and just puts arm out of the shot.
Yeah.
And there's silence. And you just hear this thunk. And the arm stays out for the entire duration of the shot until it kind of realizes that it's been made.
Yeah.
Hangs the phone up. And then the camera kind of pans around and you can see this dude with his head
skewered onto
impaled through this blade as he was kind of taking a swig of the milk.
So it's like impaled through the milk, through his face.
Through the milk, through the face, and the cupboard. Yeah. And that image just scared the shit out of me. And like I said, I was a kind of a totally impressionable kid. But shall we... What else have you got in the show and tell pile, dear?
In the show and tell pile, which I'm going to try and not drop on the floor.
Oh, that's okay.
Scream!
Scream
was probably one of the first horror movies I ever saw. And it was one of those, you're not supposed to be watching TV late night.
Yeah. That's
going to make a really loud noise.
Sorry.
There we go.
That was not flatulence. It was a bottle of soda.
Good. One of these, it was late night on Channel 4 or Channel 5, and I couldn't sleep, and I must have been about maybe 10 or 11, and I turned my TV on, and there was some girl running around being chased by this killer, and I was like, oh god, I'm there like with it muted, covers up to my thing, holding the remote, but I'm still watching it, and I can't look away, but it's muted because the music makes such a huge difference to stuff, which is why I ended up going on to study music. And
it's a control issue.
Yeah, if I can turn the sound off, I can control my fear.
So we were watching Dark Skies last night. And that basically occurred that this. Yeah. It was kind of drastically. It smacked me in the face at how kind of completely on the money it is. That
Dark Skies is a great movie.
When you're watching a film in the cinema, you have no control.
No.
You don't get to pee.
No.
You gotta sit down and watch this fucker because you are committed.
Yes.
And what happened last night was the alarm went off in the film.
Yeah.
And we're of course sitting here and it goes off and you think it's going to stop.
Yeah.
So we're both feeling really uncomfortable as you're watching it. So I just cut you off.
That's fine.
And it was kind of beeping and beeping and beeping and so we're both sitting there watching this thing and come, stop, you're making me uncomfortable. Just stop. It's really loud. I don't like those noises.
Yeah. And
eventually kind of we totally got moused out by the film and remote turn the volume down.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there thinking, shit, this is basically the core of what we're missing in today's world, like right now, in terms of kind of watching horror and viewing, because everything's so accessible and you feel like you're in control.
Yeah, you are. In Netflix, if it's bothering you, you just turn it off. But if you're in a cinema, that's it. You're there. You've paid to be there. You've paid to suffer. It's like going on a roller coaster.
Exactly.
You're there for the adrenaline rush, but if you don't like it halfway around, all you can do is go, oh God, get me off! But you're stuck. You're fucking stuck.
It's tough shit. You are committed.
But yeah, Scream, I ended up just flipping between different channels and muting it. I watched it several times again since, like many times, but that first time I was like, I had no idea, because this was back when you had teletext, but you didn't have, there was no internet.
Oh yeah.
No anything. I mean, internet existed, but I didn't have internet.
This was VHS days.
This was VHS. But
did you watch this DVD?
No, this was on TV. This was on TV.
Oh yeah.
It was on Channel 4 late night, and it was just... so I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what the film was called, so I had to watch it to the end to find out what it was called.
Insane.
That's also how I found out that Channel 4 also showed weird late night softcore porn stuff. When you turn it on in the middle of the night and you're like, what is this? Oh, there's breasts everywhere. Okay.
I tell you what, I wish we had that. I discovered that later when I kind of came over here, and the closest you could get to kind of vile content was pseudo softcore porn on ETV, which was way before.
Okay.
So this isn't UK ETV, this is South African ETV, which is a totally different beast. It's about as tacky can get. The adverts were terrible. But this was in the days when you had this place called, this show called, the channel called Mnet. I don't even know if they've got it anymore.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
South Africa.
Okay.
And that was like the single cable channel that was available. And you paid money for this one fucking channel. Mnet, to go and watch Mnet. And South Park at the time was still 100% bleeped. And you had to stay up until about 3:30 in the morning to watch South Park, 100% edited, 100% bleeped out. And that is the cultural difference between kind of there and here.
It was on. I remember when South Park came out and some kids at my school were watching it. And I remember trying to convince my parents to let me watch it, going, but it's a cartoon. And my parents going, no, you're not watching that. And it was on at like 9 o'clock on Channel 4. No, I wasn't allowed. When I was 16, I was not allowed to watch. When I was 15 and 16, I was not allowed to watch American Pie.
I remember watching American Pie in cinema.
I was not allowed to see. You're older than me. I was not allowed to see.
I got a couple of years.
Yeah, I just mean like the time at which it was shown at the cinema. So it was out on DVD.
Yeah,
and it was on TV, and I was never allowed to watch it.
Yeah, it was a different kind of movie though. They don't make teen movies like American Pie anymore.
No.
They just don't. It's not... And I'm not quite sure whether it's because you're able to just watch anything and everything's available and everybody can do anything on TV and on movies now, and that's made people less clever with their writing. It's like American Pie you watch it now, it's still a solid film beginning to end. Kind of the Despicable Bear thing, the pact to get laid, all of the other stuff that goes on. It has got solid line the entire way through, and it's a good film.
It is. It was really fun.
Like 10 Things I Hate About You.
I love that film.
So we're totally geeking out. So Scream was your first.
Scream was my first horror movie. The first horror movie I kind of came across myself and realized that, oh, holy shit, what is going on? This is terrifying. Right.
I heard about it from my cousin. Different cousin.
Totally
different cousin. Yeah, no. I remember sitting in the back of the car and she told me about the first 10 minutes.
And
she explained the first 10 minutes to me in prose, and this happens and then that happens and then
of course
he's totally there and he says, I want to know who I'm looking at.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da, da, da. And I remember that thing going.
Before I had ever seen
terrified the shit out of me.
Before I had ever seen Scream, I remember being on a school trip when I was 11 years old and telling ghost stories, like campfire stories, late night. I think I told you I was with the loser group So it was all
Of
the
course.
really, it was the really unpopular girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them peed the bed while we were there, and
no.
one of them had major flatulence issues. One was sunburnt the whole time. One of them
This sounds like a proper UK.
One of them was like total, not on mute, but she did not talk to people.
Oh.
So this is what I had.
Except for the flatulence.
So I had sunburnt girl underneath me. Opposite me was flatulent girl and silent girl, and luckily in the single bed, because we were in bunk beds, in the single bed on the end was pissy bed, was pissy bed girl. Some of these girls I still know now. It's quite entertaining, and they probably won't remember because I remember most things, but I just remember like laying there. And I had Goosebumps books with me, and I remember they wanted scary stories, and clearly they didn't know any. And I was, oh yeah, totally.
Oh, good.
I told them like the Bang Bang Drip Drip story and Centimeter Squared and all these urban legend stories, and they're like whispering late at night, telling them urban legend stories, and they're going,
"Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?" It's a good one.
Mm.
Okay, what else you got in your pile?
I haven't. It's what you've got.
What do I got in my pile?
You've got 2 more movies.
Oh, we got 2 more.
Two more.
We're gonna hustle through.
Which one do you want to go through? Yep.
Okay, I tell you what. For the sake of this,
Yep.
Let's go with Final Destination.
Final Destination
Because
1.
I think we've both got like a
Oh, yeah.
this one. So,
Final Destination 1 came out in 2000.
Was it 2000?
It was 2000.
Holy shit!
It might be 1999. I'm sure it's 2000 though.
It was definitely it was later than that.
No, it
It was
wasn't.
not 2000.
Oh,
Hang on. No, wait. It was 1998.
you sure?
I'm banking.
Your bank it was 2000, so I was correct. It's on the disc. It says 2000 on the
No,
disc.
2000's right. It's totally right.
So, Final Destination.
Final Destination. I saw this in cinema multiple times.
I did not see this until I was at least 17.
This was the film of choice. I don't know what it must have been the summer of 2000.
Mm.
The thing is that I don't think that, whereas everything kind of comes out and goes out worldwide, more or less within 3 to 4 months of each other now.
Okay.
Back then, not the case. So
Yeah,
South Africa,
it was
you'd
a year.
wait a year.
But you're in the UK, some cinema
Sometimes
to
2
DVD,
years or
and
whatever
then...
it was. No, not even the DVD cinema situation. I'm talking just for cinemas in South Africa.
Oh yeah, because you'd be
So
delayed.
it's a totally different kind of situation across the board. So I suppose we should look this up.
For me, it was. I just remember I remember it scaring me the same way that Scream did, and I remember muting it. But I was older, and I think I worked at a HMV store, which is His Master's Voice, and it's it still is. There's not many of them left now, but it's like a games and DVDs and CDs store in the UK. And I worked there for like 2.5 years, almost 3 years. That was good. I loved working there. And I got to see a lot of horror movies before I turned 18 because I used to watch them on my lunch break. And I buy them because I got like 30% off, which was great.
Hey,
Good
I
discount.
had a bookshop.
Yeah, you worked at a bookshop, yeah.
Same deal.
So it
You
was
could get them
good.
for discounts and DVDs and things, but it was much later on.
So I had this huge collection of horror movies. I actually sold them all. I was going to move to America a few years ago and then didn't, and I sold all my DVDs.
I have put my entire collection either in bin bags or charity shops, or have donated them so many times.
Yeah, and I've lost all possessions.
And you couldn't I was heartbroken at one point because I had the entire box set of every Buffy episode.
I had them all
on VHS.
I've got them all on VHS still.
Are they still with you folks?
Still with my folks.
Oh, that's cool.
I had them all on DVD and I sold them all again when I was going to move.
I could not give them away. Yeah. I wanted them to go to a home. I had this insane.
We wanted to give them to charity and they won't accept them.
Yeah, and that was truly it. Like I couldn't even give them to a charity shop, and it was just such a bummer.
It's heartbreaking to put them in a thing. But they're so good. They were pretty cases as well.
VHS are fun, but the thing is it's just a space issue at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of
we have
I like
lot
the way
of
this stuff's going.
We have a lot of Could you like e stuff like ebooks?
I miss having like the
physical
DVD extras.
Yeah,
and it's kind of that's the
loss.
That's the big draw to it that you don't get in digital, and I hope they really get their hands around that. So I saw this thing in cinema at least about 4 times.
Wow.
Just off the top of my head, I think it was just in that time where around about in the same time frame there was mentally, and this is probably not in the same spec.
No, okay.
But it was in that kind of same band of mental time, where there was stuff like kind of Teaching Miss Tingle, What Lies Beneath.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That was a solid film. Let's not ruin that for anybody.
No, that's a good film.
Totally never saw that coming. And
great cast as well, Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford. So it's worth checking out if you've not seen it.
If you haven't seen it, don't talk to anybody, don't look it up, just go and watch it then.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, so the first horror film I saw in the cinema was The Ring 2.
Wow.
And I went to see that with a group of people from my little like group of friends that I had at school, and that must have been I must have been 15. I would have been 15 when I went to see it, because it was a 15.
That's crazy.
And I didn't meet that group of friends till I was 15.
First horror movie?
First horror movie in the cinema. So I didn't see, like, I only went to the cinema with friends like 3 or 4 times before I was an adult.
I'm trying to think about first horror movie I saw in cinema. Like, there were movies I wanted to see. And I got to a point where basically I just said, fuck it, I'm going. I basically lived in this place back home called, they call it Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of the given name of the place because there's fuck all there. And it's not kind of like that there's fuck all. It's more a case of, there's just... So I'd basically spend the summer holidays riding my bike backwards and forwards across town, going to coffee shops, and I'd basically ask my mother to drop me off and I'd go and watch movies all day. So I'd sit and I watch things like, off the top of my head, I remember watching Godzilla. And like the Matthew Broderick one.
Never seen it.
So there's this one shot in Godzilla where you've got, I think it's Hank Azaria.
Yep.
Plays Mo.
Yep.
And about 1,000 other characters on
Dr.
The Simpsons. Dr. Nick.
Yeah.
With his hand on something else.
Yes.
And the other on his...
Leg.
And I remember sitting there and there were these 3 girls. And even then I was kind of saying, Jesus. They were teeny boppers.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't very old myself.
No.
I don't think I was even 15 at the time. And I remember these 3 chicks sitting in front of me and the foot comes down on the camera and you've got Hank Azaria holding his camera and he knows he's about to eat
shit.
I was going to say shit and then I kind of held myself back. I don't know why. I don't have a conscious reason. And I just remember this foot coming down and these 3 girls just leapt out of their seats and I was just sitting there laughing. And I think just to kind of round all this up, there was a very specific point, and they had to have been for you too, where I turned the corner from kind of
fear to laughter. Yeah, I noticed it the worst when I went to see, because I go to see movies on my own. Or before I moved in with you, I used to go and see movies on my own. When I went to see The Ritual, when I went to see It, Part 1, almost every horror film I've been to the cinema to see on my own. Going back, I think there was like The Visitors, or The Visit. It was in America. I went to see.
Was The Visit the one with Shyamalan?
No. Yes.
That was a really good movie. It gets bad just for some reason.
Yeah. Even Woman in Black. That was 2000 and...
I think I saw that on video.
That was 2012. I just got the giggles. Like, there'd be like a jump scare and I wouldn't jump scare and I giggle, but so Dark Skies last night, every jump scare got me. Like, I don't often jump. You are kind of jump scare resistant normally. Yeah. I mean, you don't get the willies the way that I do. No, I'm really... You're totally... For a very emotional... Like, I'm a super emotional person. I'm all over the place, but I'm not scared. I don't scare very easily. Yeah. I'm only scared of one thing, so... Yeah. I'm not telling you what it is. It's cooking. It's cooking. Yeah, I'm scared of cooking. I'm scared of cat shit on carpets. I'm scared of... Cat shit on carpets is my number one fear. Yep, I don't like cats. In fact, cats... Sorry, cat fans. We're a no cat household. Yeah, there's a... What is it? Pussy phobia. Let's not go with that. What is it? The pathogen? Toxoplasmosis. That's the one. Yeah, cat feces. If you really want to kind of get off the pussy wagon. Google toxoplasmosis. Yeah, Google toxoplasmosis. Also, if you're pregnant, you're not supposed to have cats anywhere near you. No.
So
It's
shame
the
on
same
you.
bacteria. Toxoplasmosis can cause miscarriage.
Basically, the idea of toxoplasmosis is that basically it makes rodents crazy. So
it makes humans crazy. It actually affects the behavior of humans. It gets inside your brain. It's a bacteria that you get that eventually takes up host in your brain. You, like most people who own cats, have it.
Yeah.
And it actually makes you more susceptible to depression. It changes your behavior.
What it does, so the actual kind of physiology of like the life cycle of the bacteria itself is it can only digest, it can only reproduce in certain kind of gut environments and brain environments and things like that. So what happens is it takes up residence in the cat.
Yep.
It comes out in the cat crap.
Yep.
And in a normal kind of non-human situation, rats or rodents would eat the cat shit.
Yeah.
And then the pathogen, I'm using the wrong word here.
No, it's pathogen.
It's a pathogen? It's a virus, isn't it?
It's a bacteria.
The bacteria basically completes its next part of its kind of reproductive cycle within the rat.
Yeah.
And then needs to get back into a cat.
Yeah.
So what it does is it basically makes the rats suicidal.
Mm.
So it drives them to reckless behavior. So they're more likely to get picked up by another cat.
Yeah.
And then eaten by the cat and then back into a cat's system to start the process over again.
And people are getting it by cleaning up cat shit out of the carpet.
Yeah, so people basically get it in their brains, and then it makes them, like Pip said, kind of more prone to depression and stuff. But it also makes you it makes you reckless.
Yeah, you are more inclined to be reckless. And
what's the name of the ants? So the fungus.
The fungus. There is a fungus that I don't know. I don't know the name of the fungus, but yeah, it's a fungus that sometimes gets. Well, the spores get inside insects. They make themselves particularly tasty. I think it even gets eaten by insects. And once it's within the brain, it controls the insect. It helps them get to they will crawl to a higher level, and then it will slowly grow through their bodies and consume the bodies, and then they're at a higher point to disperse the spores.
Yeah, what happens is they basically clamp down. This is not what I was looking at. I was trying to find the name of the fungus. The name of the fungus.
I wrote a story about that.
Yes, you did. I cannot say no. Zombie ant fungus in the genus. You are our science person. So while Pip works this out, what happens is basically
Ophiocordyceps.
Cordyceps. That's it.
Yeah. Ophiocordyceps.
They use it in two separate things. Just off the top of my head, in Indus Media, in The Girl with All the Gifts.
Not seen it or read it.
Read the book.
You've just ruined it for me.
No, not really. Read the book. It's really phenomenal, and I believe that they do something similar in the one with Ellen Page. Is it Ellen Page? It's a video game. It's not Left 4 Dead. It is something else. Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Last of Us was an amazing game. I watched it.
Kind of like a
Let's
zombie.
Play.
Yeah, but we're gonna round this thing up with zombie ants.
With zombie ants.
So the ants basically they eat the stuff.
Yeah.
They climb up these grass stems, and then the fungus basically brain controls them and tells them to go high.
Yeah.
So they climb as high as they can, and then they clamp down their mandibles at the top of a grass stump.
Yeah.
At the top of the stem, and then they basically starve to death.
Yeah. And
then the fungus, like you said, basically spores from there and spreads over a wider area and continues the mayhem.
This also is very similar to worms. Not lungworms specifically, but worms, insects. It's like you might have seen videos on YouTube of people that are like, they'll find like a grasshopper or a spider's behaving strange, and they'll like kill it. And you see this worm like crawling out of I'll show you a video.
That's
like worms like crawling out of the body, and it's like the whole like the spider will be like relatively small, and this worm will have filled its entire body, and it has been controlling it.
Oh, that's crazy!
And in order to get it to go to places, in order to get it to do things, it's the same with people when they get full of them. But yes, so
with that
is our horror origins.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming and join us for this. And until next time, we'll be right back. Bye.
small portion of the torture that awaits you.